Hello friends, colleagues, and everyone. Hope all is well. This is Abdel Abu Faris. I'd like to share with you one of my POCs I put together recently. The goal of this POC is not only to use infrastructure as a code to automate cloud resources, in other words, to provision resources to the cloud, such as EC2, load balancer, RDS database, and all those services can be automated. But also one of the very crucial item I've seen some developers and dev engineers do is at times they tend to neglect security while they provision the resources. Okay, I will share with you a quick scenario I came across in one of my projects, so you get an idea what I'm talking about. Um, so um, in that situation, I had to step in and suggested to my team that we have a better alternative to do this process in a more secured fashion. Okay, so as we all know, there are a lot of ways to provision resources to AWS or even Azure or even GCP, Google Cloud. So you can use automation tools to do that. Um, However, the main item that I would like to put emphasis on in this POC is security as well. So not only we're going to build a quick EC2 or a server or a VM, call it whatever you want, in basically in a few minutes, but I want to make sure that that VM is going to be built in a secured fashion so nobody can have access to it or somebody can sniff my key, my secret key. There are a lot of ways to hack to data. Um, it's very crucial. I'll give you an example. You know, sometimes when we do migration, you're taking the data from on-prem to AWS, and if you don't use some type of a tunnel, I think one of the servers that AWS offers is direct connect. So basically, while the data is in transit, it gets encrypted, so nobody can sniff the data, and it gets transferred from point A to point B in more secured fashion. So that concept is the same. We should apply the same concept here when we provision resources to AWS, because somebody is using his laptop, right? That laptop, he pushed the button. Let's say if he uses Terraform, he pushes the button and it provision the EC2 on AWS. Well, what happens? What happens to that information that's going from the laptop to AWS? Is it secured? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do on this POC. We're gonna build a quick EC2, and then we're gonna make sure the transition from the laptop to AWS is secured. So let's get started. So let's take a look at this scenario. Um, Hypothetically, let's say I want to create an e-commerce website. So let's call it my app right here, right? So in order for me to create my app website, obviously I'm going to need the servers, right? I need to provision servers. I need to set up a networking, set up and configure a networking for my environment. I need to create the route tables. I have to install a software. I have to configure the software, and then I have to install and configure my database. Database could be MySQL, Postgres, MongoDB, any type of RDS database. It depends on the requirements. So for the sake of the simplicity and for sake of this POC, I'm just going to create only one part of this environment, which is a server. I'm going to create a quick EC2 instance to show you how quickly we can provision an EC2 instance. So let me log into my AWS account, and we can go from there. Okay, I just logged into my AWS account. Actually, let me just go up here so you can. This is my name. You can see that. So this is my AWS account. I use this as a playground. I experiment a few things. As something a new feature that AWS introduced. I come down here and experiment and see how it works. And I just basically put a POC together, and it's a great way to learn, and it's a good way to keep up with technology as well. So as soon as I finish my POC, I either destroy the resource or stop it. Like you see here, I have two EC2 instances stopped, but the only one is running is this one. It's called Ansible Tower, Red Hat 8, because I need this server to be up and running in order for me to use the tool Ansible Tower. So let me do this. I'm gonna go to Ansible Tower here. And I'm gonna grab the public IP. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the browser and see if I can access a tower. Okay, I'm gonna paste the IP that I got from my account from the tower that is running on my AWS account, and I got prompt with this form. I have to provide this is my user ID, admin, and the password in order for me to access Ansible Tower. And here we go. I am successfully logged in to my dashboard. Okay, as you can see, this basically a dashboard. It shows you the project you have, inventory, and the host, and the jobs that you run, whether they run successfully. You get a green success. Oh, if it failed for whatever reason, it says failed. So this is basically in one central location that myself and my team can come down here and see, who did what and whether it went successfully or not. So it's really, really, really cool, and as far as collaborating with the team. So let's run this job to show you how quickly this EC2 or VM we're gonna run provision right away. Um, okay, I'm gonna go to EC2. This is the one that I've run recently. I'm gonna go ahead and run it. So before we go ahead and launch the job, I'd like to revisit my AWS account here, and just to point out here that I have nothing running. This is the only one that's running as a server, but in a few minutes we're gonna see my new server that I'm gonna be running in a few seconds is gonna be it's gonna be launching in a few seconds. Okay, now let's go back and run the job, and we're just gonna go ahead and launch. Here we go. I'm gonna launch the job. Let's see, it says job running. All the what the script is doing, it says instance creation. So we should be able to see the job. This is just warning. It's not nothing. It says here warning, nothing major. But once the Terraform finish, I'm actually calling Terraform to provision my EC2 instance. Once it finish, it will we will see status code of 0 or failed equals 0, which means it runs successfully. Now let's go back to my console and see if the instance started. Sometimes it initiates, it takes a couple seconds. Let's refresh. You see that? Here we go. See that right here? It says actually, wow, it finished. Oh, it's not quite. It says initiating. See that? That one is initiating. Remember, a few minutes ago, I only had the tower running. Now I have a new EC2 just got launched. Actually, it says running, and here it says initiating. So it's not quite done yet. So you see how quickly I was able to provision EC2 in about a minute or so. So I'm gonna refresh. It's still initializing. Okay. Let me go back to my tower and see what's going on here. I should get a successful. It says here success. Okay, it means it's done. Okay, so my job, it did what it's supposed to do to create an EC2 instance, and I can see it here on my console. That's it. It took, I mean, the POC took more than 2 minutes. I had to explain and give you a high level of what I'm trying to accomplish. But this is the main part that I just run here, is to create an EC2 instance, which really, it took about 2 minutes or less. So that's basically um, the purpose of this POC. But I'm gonna show you one more item as far as security is concerned. Now let's talk about security. So this is where I launched the job. I launched it from here, right? And take a look at some of the variables here. So we have AWS region. This is I have to tell AWS, because AWS has multiple regions. It could be US, it could be Europe, Asia. So I have to tell it where my EC2 is going to be provisioned in which region, and I have to tell it which subnet. Okay, so I'm given a subnet ID, and also I need to specify security group. And here I'm specifying the size of the EC2. Is it T2? Is it large or extra large? It's the type is basically, are you going to provision a 2 CPU versus 4 CPU or 8? Same thing with memory. It could be 8, 16, and so forth. You can scale up, and it depends on the project requirements. So there is the thing that I would like for you to notice here. There is no password, hard-coded password here, anywhere here. Okay, no user ID or password. No such thing. Okay, now let's go back to a project. I'd like to go here to see, because it's calling the project 24/7. Let me just go back here. I'm here 24/7. Same thing here. I am calling my Terraform. It sits on a GitHub, right? This is my GitHub URL. And the GitHub, in order for me to access GitHub, I need a user ID and password, right? So I specify a Git credential. So here it says a credential. So I specify my credential. This is my credential. So now let's go back to my credential page and see my credential. So this is my credential here, right? The username, I see it, which is Cloud Morocco, right? But even myself, I cannot see. I hover over the password, I can see it. Even if you are a super admin, you cannot see it. The only way to edit or modify this password is to replace it. Here we go. See, I hover over this icon here. It says you replace it. You cannot edit it. Okay, so this is very, very important, because if somebody hacked to the system, he or she will not be able to see my password. And in order to access my account, you have to replace it. You have to provide a new password. So this is very, very secured. Now, let's take a look at it from running the same process. This GitHub account, which is this one. Let's say if I need to call it from my if I want to call it from my laptop. Let's see the difference between running it from here, from the tower, versus running the same thing from laptop AWS CLI. Okay, I am not gonna run the whole process using my laptop, but I just wanna point out the pros and cons. Why I decided to run a provision, an EC2 or VM from Ansible Tower versus running it from my laptop. Okay, so as you can see here, this is my laptop prompt, right? I just copy pasted here. So first thing I have to do, I have to set up AWS config, which is basically I'm telling AWS console I'm going to be running or provision resources from this laptop. Okay, so as soon as I type AWS config or configure, I get a prompt. Uh, uh, it says I need your access key. So you have to put an access key here. And next thing is going to ask you to provide access secret key. So right away you see the potential security hole right here, because somebody we're giving access key and secret key to developers to add that in their laptop, right? So imagine if you have 5 or 10, 15, 20 developers are building resources to the cloud. How are you gonna maintain or monitor who's doing what? That's one. Second, if one of the developers a laptop got stolen, right? Now we have a major issue because that laptop has the keys, right? It's like as if we're giving keys to the kingdom. It's somebody get a hold of that laptop, they can run a job or Terraform playbook right from that laptop, and they can do a command called destroy. There's a Terraform destroy. Destroy, you just go to the AWS account and it destroys something you just provisioned. So if you did something in production, guess what? You just somebody it potentially can do some serious damage. So it's very bad idea to run and provision resources from AWS. I'm sorry, from my laptop. So that's something that I would definitely advise my client to stay away from this practice. I've seen a lot of clients actually. I don't have to mention the names, but I've seen a lot of developers the provision resources from their laptop, but they kind of neglect the consequences if something were to happen. It's very dangerous. So here, this I already went through this part here that shows how I can run or create a VM through a tower. I already showed you a quick 2 minutes demo there. So that this is basically the end of my POC. So in summary, I would definitely use automation is definitely is a way to go, but we'll still need to make sure that automation is secured versus running a playbook from a laptop or running it from a secure tool such as Ansible Tower. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.